I'm fine, thank you. Who are you? 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 Who are you?
Every passing day, we become aware of many divisions within the inner circle of the self. Sometimes telling us of hopes unrealized and dreams that will not rest until they incarnate themselves in us. All the while we pull back, but they will not let us go. In soundless movement there floats up through all the chambers of his being, encompassing all the tongued cries from many cells, one word: God.
In the false light of blind progress, the future looks bright. Take a second, let your eyes readjust. Years fly by like days, feel the rush. We consume the earth while the earth consumes us. Quick, fill the void, build, destroy. It started with the word, kill the noise. I'm trying to find a cure for the darkness I've observed, where a spark of life emerged from an archetypal urge. And harmonizing birds sang the praise of a new day. You gotta break a few eggs to make a souffle. The few that knew the way through the maze aim to loosen the chains and lay the groundwork for a future age. See the soothsayer full gaze as a toothpaste, sipping Kool-Aid made by the prison guards. See the dreamer on a fool's crusade in a strange land trying to bend back prison bars. The vision rose when the well was full, driven to excel and grow, freed from a cell that was self-imposed. Placed a seed in the velvet rose, waited 9 months and watched the brainchild emerge from its hellish woes. I got a palace that my muse holds down, that's fit for a king with the fool's gold crown. Nestled in the shadow of a basilisk with 7 heads, where mass confusion's on the rise like leavened bread. From this vantage I can see a man in need, on his hands and knees, pleading with the tyrant that he can't appease. A serpent's coil round the roots of our family tree, and birds of paradise are perched on the canopy. Grant us amnesty to seed the dry earth and turn the wasteland into the Eden where we thrive first. All the signs say the end days are coming. Tears flood the valley, peeling back the layers of this onion.
Midnight means the destruction of the social order. The darkest hour separating today from tomorrow.
Separating light rays from the hemlock and deadly nightshade. Find your way home before the light fades. Through life's maze like caged mice, with men that fell from grace and great heights and ate the fateful apple at a ripe age. A sight to behold, a construct to follow blind, while vultures circle us with eyes like dollar signs. Seek solace, find hearts that pump liquid collagen prime to sprawl away their souls on the dotted line. I need release from the chaos, the payoffs, the backroom deals, the global chessboard, the stray shots that tear through flesh when empires face off and despots reduce men to biometric stage props. A smile that could heal the sickness of the world lights the living room like forgotten visions of a girl dancing in the rain, telling me the story of creation, Alpha to Omega, Genesis to Revelation.
Something just opens. Something just opens. There was a kind of flash. The air around you was liquid, and you can feel the liquid, and you can feel the liquid being pulled into your lungs, being pulled into your lungs. And everyone in the world heard their name, and everyone in the world heard their name, heard their name.
The creative power working through the mind of man has produced the modern world. We have learned how to release vast sources of energy, and we've learned how to make wonderful machines. We can travel around the world in a few days. All this has brought humanity under the action of immensely strong material forces. We do not dominate these forces, they dominate us. Life on Earth is getting more and more complicated every generation. There's no room for the inner life.
Back to work, separating grassroots from astroturf. As half-truths they tried to pass off as facts emerge. Keep me tethered to the ground, bring me back to earth when I blast off and take my place in the galactic church. I'm trying to grasp light and dark's vacillations in the white room with black curtains at the station. Cream makes the world spin like dervishes and Daytons, and leads men astray into the serpent's machinations. With strictures and cave wall flicks to hypnotize, I eat my daily tripe with bare hands, it's undignified. The mantra in the cloven tongue of mammoths like nails on a chalkboard inside the stomach of a white whale. Eyes popping out the sockets, watching profits line pockets, and the price of bought and sold souls skyrocket. Walk a road, rot with skulls, not with gold, fraught with signs, roadblocks, and obstacles that defy logic. Life's a package deal. You take the beautiful days with dark nights and dance with Maya in the starlight, it's alright. We wax and we wane. There's wildflowers growing from the cracks in my brain. Dry your eyes, revitalize, alive and well, practicing my aim by a grave of fireflies that felt like Simon Magus from the sky and hit the ground.
What do you think is falling down?
Right as rain falls, sent to pacify the violent flames. Hydroplaned on torrential teardrops of crying shame. Find your lane, find the book of life, sign your name. Lose your way, hit creative brick walls. Times have changed, is it? Art or artifice, sleight of hand parlor tricks, arsenic or medicine, hellbound or heaven sent. Sound of sirens, we're here on earth stranded, where the seeds of my present pathos were first planted. If words are weapons, I'll address and press every issue, and spit bullets that'll rip through your connective tissue. The priest and guard gave us sin, fire and brimstone, and said it's either devil's nectar or holy water to wet your whistle. But love alone could turn thistles into daffodils. So no dogma for me, thanks, I had my fill. Had my fill of powder, black tar, acid pills, Catholic guilt, and running from my problems like it's track and field. Life's a package deal. You take the beautiful days with dark nights and dance with Maya in the starlight, it's alright. We wax and we wane. There's wildflowers growing from the cracks in my brain. Dry your eyes, revitalize, alive and well, practicing my aim by a grave of fireflies that felt like Simon Magus from the sky and hit the ground.
What do you think is falling down?
Last of a dying, breed on the path to find a lamb laying in the lap of a lion, laughing and crying with the magnifying glass to rewind, looking back at time. Look so long I forgot to live. God forbid they put a nail in the coffin lid, and I don't give what I got to give. You gotta play your part before you cross the bridge. A bird perched on the grand set, there's a whole lot of devils in a man's head. I agree, I can see him dance in my skull. There's some things that we can't control. He said he saw it all from a tree of knowledge and the guarded light, from bright days to the darkest nights, and that the pain of life was a part of the fight. It made a saint of the Buddha and the martyr of Christ. In fact, as the world pirouettes and the mother of all reflects back what exists in us, the aim is to learn what I came here to learn. I was Edenville bound, but I missed the bus, missed the train, mystified.
Mr. 10, how do you feel?
Like Harry Holler, a Howard Bill, trying to tighten those screws with the power drill. To lay the foundation on sacred ground, I gotta build, even when you break me down. I gotta deal with myself or escape this town, in the belly where the venomous snakes abound. A barbed wire crown, hunker down, safe and sound with the blinds drawn. I let my mind wander and explore the depths. We get pulled in the ocean when the tide's strong. All in a dream, all in a vision, all is forgiven when the walls of a prison fall to the earth with a bang. And you don't have a scapegoat, you're the only person to blame. Focus in, look at faith in's broken limbs, and a man with the cobra skin. He asked for a hand that you won't extend. It had an 80 milligram and a dope syringe. All in a dream, all in a vision, all is forgiven when the walls of a prison fall to the earth with a bang. And you don't have a scapegoat, you're the only person to blame. Came from the city of the lost, where everything pure gets nailed to a cross. Every now and then you escape the facade. Every deep breath you inhale the exhaust. The mind adapts, I need reminders to mind the gaps, and the paradigm's designed to bind and trap. You can bite and scratch, split hairs with the iron axe, but don't throw me in the briar patch through a glass dark. Blind as bats, with no road signs or maps, on the path to find a land laying in the lion's lap, while the trumpets blare and the sirens blast. Yesterday I had a debt to pay, I owed apologies for my escapades, with no rhyme or reason for the mess I made. It was Dionysian but less depraved. I'm adept at laying to rest all the best things when the needle hits a red on the pressure gauge. Kept in a cage, suppressing rage till it builds up and we go our separate ways. All in a dream, all in a vision, all is forgiven when the walls of a prison fall to the earth with a bang. And you don't have a scapegoat, you're the only person to blame. Focus in, look up Leviathan's broken limbs and a man with the cobra skin. He asked for a hand that you won't extend. It had an 80 milligram and a dope syringe. All in a dream, all in a vision. All is forgiven when the walls of a prison fall to the earth with a bang. And you don't have a scapegoat, you're the only person to blame. Came from the city of the lost, where everything pure gets nailed to a cross. Every now and then you escape the facade. Every deep breath you inhale the exhaust.
Excuse me, sir. What's the time?
The time?
Yes, sir.
There's an industrial ruling class on this planet. They own democracy. They own socialism. They own fascism. They own communism. They own it all. And they have us quarreling about which one is better than the other. Which vampire is the best?
Why has the CIA been permitted to run brutal, covert actions? Why are we systematically taught to hate other people?
We know how the mass media functions. That what's being reported, in fact, had nothing to do with what really went on. So there's no wonder that people who have been deluged with this type of misinformation for all their lives, it's no wonder that they don't know what's going on.
Oh, what a multitude and diversity of lies having consequence come to be believed in.
As the crow flies through moonlight, I might lift me up again. Fuck a co-pilot, dumb high, still feel like half a man. Did you notice when the moon turned red? Did you notice that the moon turned red? Did you notice when the moon turned red? Did you notice when the moon turned red?
Flash of red and blue lights dancing in the moonlight. Tears flood the valley when the mood's right. Choose life instead of shooting dice with death and testing fate. We're trudging through the depths of hell to get to heaven's gates. A man dressed in black said to let go. Smiled like a white light and led you by the hand across the threshold. Some are doomed from the get-go. Soon as they put the flame to spoon, their names are added to the rising death toll. A red rose blooms in old bowls rig. How'd you let the monsters in your skull grow so big? Who's a real dope man? The one that's pressing up the pills. The government operatives that turn the powder into krills. I went to see my P.O. and nodded out while talking. Fell asleep behind the wheel and wound up in the coffin. Fought 1,000 battles with the voices in my head and cried out for a helping hand to raise me from the dead.
The crow flies through moonlight, I might lift me up again. Fuck a co-pilot, dumb high, still feel like half a man. Did you notice when the moon turned red? Did you notice that the moon turned red? Did you notice when the moon turned red? Did you notice when the moon turned red?
Danger and deliverance go hand in hand.
A red moon's climbing, clawing at the night sky, stealing diamonds out of heaven's vault, telling white lies. On the bright side, the source of all this. But how we get from that to this? Drag around a bag of bricks, crashing whips, clashing with the basilisk, masochist, self-flagellating, cracking whips, trying to scratch an itch. At night I wish upon a fallen asterisk. Here today, the next they disappear like a magic trick. Preach Lee, Brian, Scape, Schmees, and Trey Pass. My OG, the color gray pass. They were raindrops on stained glass. You become detached, running fast. Keep it all under wraps. Lightning strikes, thunder claps. Through an obstacle course of gnashing teeth, I wade through the sewage trying to practice what I preach. The beast knows how to orchestrate a little peep show where dancing inside the maze shed the layers of their sheep clothes.
2 lace blunts, my face numb, yeah, smoke Novocaine. 3 drink cups, still can't face up to his hold on me. 4 G's mush, we freed up like it's Burning Man. 5-0 cut, search my trunk like an elephant. 2 sips ketamine, toxic fentanyl. We fuck federally, tell me what the schedule be. Work was heavy, and shit got hectic. I dropped the weight like anorexic. I'm out the mix, no Brexit. If it hit different, I sell it. They want the truth, won't tell it. It costs all on my celly. Be back home in a second. Cheese eggs in my belly. Love, love, love.
needs no legs to fly. We've all been blessed with wings of our own.
Recognize the patterns that emerge when the self-righteous herb strikes a maladapted nerve. Had the urge to snap and leave him fractured on the curb. I recall the confrontation, but the aftermath's a blur. Deterred by a Venus wrapped in furs that saw the ring and aimed to sabotage my happy ever afterwards. In dark moods, she'll remove your heart using sharp tools. Feed you to the sharks, leave you bleeding on the bar stool. Leave the fruit alone. Go pet the dog with 3 heads on a leash in front that's chewing on a human bone. And dream about Elysian fields where you used to roam. A new day dawning and the promise of your future home. It's scorched earth outside, more than I can stomach. Lit a stick with fire stolen from the highest summit. Somewhere in the furnace sweating out the toxins, where snake oil merchants peddle rebel angel doctrines. There's no place like home base. Maneuver through a soulscape, stone-faced, moving at my own pace. Dodging pitfalls and titans while they clash. Plucking wings off of hummingbirds and fighting over scraps.
Many questions are still unanswered. How do they find their way? Do they navigate by the sun and stars?
We've all been blessed with wings.
As we walk in, welcome to my habitat. You're free to watch the spin doctor spin in Stetson hazmats. You can check my ASCAP, take a lap around my lab, take a ride inside the mad mind of Gandalf Pendergrass. Gobstoppers, everlasting flavor countries where I'm at. Used to be the Reds and Mangalore, Ganesh, I buy a pack. No use in denying facts. The truth is I'm lying back and letting life arrive on God's almanac. Rewind the track to find the sum. I use this as a rule of thumb. Time it used to bruise me with its lacking nature. Give me some, but I'm an eternal being, so keep it charity it seems. My nature's on the side of cherished rarities and particle beams. The article genuine, gentleman, genteel giant with a way to a means. Making my way no matter the day, no matter the time, it's in my genes. Divine steam, precise aim with a crystal beam. Cut a man down with a missile stream. Spit like a hummingbird beak and lean in when I grip my teeth. Is this a dream?
Projected on the inner screen of clay figurines. There's no place like home base. Trying to find a path through an underworld of hungry ghosts fighting over scraps.
Who are you? Who are you?
The important thing is to get out there and learn to see, to look, and to enjoy.
We've all been blessed with wings.
This can turn any metal into gold.
Well, yes.
I have already found the secret of this powerful force.
I would like to show you how this principle works on a human being.
Then you take him down to the cellar.
As sure as a spooky place.
What's down there?
Monkey paws, shrunken heads, esoteric Boy Scouts in aprons in the red fez. Keepers of a Eden snake's knowledge of pharaoh secrets that trace their lineage to high priests in Egypt. The Babel Tower builders, knowers and initiates, solving quantum Rubik's cubes, decoding arithmetic. Something about the general vibe made my knee jerk. The alchemist pursuits led to gain of function research. Kill your morbid fascination with the strange and the sickly trees that sprang from the offspring of Cain. You'll know them by their fruits or lack thereof. Identify the weeds, gain the ground, and pull them by the roots like hair plugs. Bald face lies, power-driven golems in the cave, hoarding pseudo-knowledge of the cosmic algorithm. With statecraft ties and all-seeing eagle eyes, be advised, careful who and what you deify. I heard your allegory shrouded the eternal, but peeled the layers back and found a nihilistic kernel. Ego-based mystery for mystery's sake. Counter to the highest high, pulling fish from this lake. Take it slow, hold my head below the H2O, where lotuses and lilies grow in golden ratios. Far from the futurist, transhuman new religion, and charlatans passing off their hubris as wisdom. We below, seeking gold, deep below, thumbing through the secret scrolls, watching crows and salamanders decompose. The sweetness of a rose should be your only goal. Joyful tears that flood the dry earth to feed your lonely soul. Pay no mind to curiosities and sphinx riddles, grimoires, coded language, and magic sigils, and leave the hive minded to their solemnose and secrecy beneath the tree of polar opposites and lower frequencies. I believe in miracles, but not magic bullets, and approach my soapbox pulpit with monastic focus. A tiny fraction of this whole galactic magnum opus, watching globalists scour the planet like a plague of locusts. It's death from above across the globe. Philosophic pyrite, they turn to lead for death squads just to lock and load. Hard to transmute the rage pressure breeds when they murder all our prophets and fill their pockets with gold.
In the beginning
was the word.
Strange bird calls and gently echoing spinning.
Let's dig until we hit the bedrock. Life is but a dream, a way station to the next stop. Let's talk, more direct shots to your bread box, while despots turn the third rock into a sweatshop. We need room to breathe, sustenance for the soul. See the forest for the trees, feel the planet's push and pull. A few took a step and shook the globe, somewhere off the crooked road, facing tribulations out the book of Job. The aim's to clip cast and net strings attached. Hell's bells toll when you let your dreams lapse on the quest for greenbacks where kings clash. Set the scene, think fast, catch a flash of light and let the ink splash. Here we are past the point of no return. Nerves frayed, shocked, watching while the world slowly burns. The flesh turns to compost, to ashes in the urn. Flowers for the fallen, food to feed the maggots and the worms. Pause and reflect. Jolted out of sleep with death's claws on my neck. There's tattered rags waving in the dawn's early light, and swine pointing pistols at the songbird in flight. The empire's unhinged, the eagle's all bones, and wolves guard the global hen house we call home. Their minds eye closed as their power drive grew, but they'll never sap the essence from a flower like you. Once upon a sci-fi plot, shocked by the prospect of lying in the pine box, we saw the sky drop. The latest pretext to peek inside of my thoughts and treat the huddled masses like livestock. A wasteland of group thought and countless psyops where prying eyes watch, and use fear to clear the skies and the blind spots. Red and blue association games, Machiavellian methods and tools to short circuit the able brain. We wake up for a sec, they rock us back to sleep. Quantify our habits, feed the data to the beast. Pull strings, turn the public square into a circus, and salt psychic wounds that fester beneath the surface. It's all going smooth as tumbled stone. Place one in the slingshot and name it that Goliath in the Thunderdome. Troubadour taught to place faith and love alone. Blood and bone, driven from the land of milk and honeycomb. Pause and reflect. Jolted out of sleep with death's claws on my neck. There's tattered rags waving in the dawn's early light, and swine pointing pistols at the songbird in flight. The empire's unhinged, the eagle's all bones, and wolves guard the global hen house we call home. Their minds eye closed as their power drive grew, but they'll never sap the essence from a flower like you.
The fledglings begin to exercise their well-feathered wings. By the time they can fly, they will be able to feed from flowers.
Come home, my children. The sun is gone down, and the dews of night arise. Leave off play, and let us away, till the morning appears in the skies.
The world, and believe it when a drop of blood says, listen, paradise is never far away, and simpler than you think it, think it, think it, think it.
We have the feeling we are getting nowhere.
The warning has passed unnoticed.
All right.
Live from the snake pit, equipped with free will to twist fate with. Dwarfed by the towers we build, let's switch places. Ever since I quit the day shift, my vision's LASIK. They give a man a shovel and pick to dig his grave with. The cruel subterfuge used to fuel hatred by the state sock puppets and pundits with two faces. Got us at each other's throats, falling for the same tricks. Facing Earth's birth pangs and tectonic plate shifts. She gyrates, I watch her shake like jello mold. Walk across oceans, hopscotch, archipelago goals. Well disposed to tell tales seldom told about worlds within worlds that can't be seen through your telescopes. If nothing sacred, you can mold it how you see fit. Strip mine the globe, recode the double helix. Split atoms in half, reduce men to lab rats, and open up a Pandora's box of other secrets. Playing roles, plugging holes in the sinking ship. Ill-equipped to wield the power at our fingertips. Confronted by a diamondback in the wilderness that offered me the global village on a silver dish. I declined, said I won't be pushed, filed, stamped, index, brief, debriefed, or numbered bottom line. Divided by design, find peace of mind in the broken promised land where the blind lead the blind. The show's coming to a close, told what the future holds. Soul shedding human clothes, pulled from the crucible. A head full of dreams, a heart wrapped in razor wire. Throwing snakes in the stomach, acid lake of fire. When I was young, my hands slipped off the highest rung. I prepped the chemicals for liftoff and life begun. A fist-sized knot, fresh dip, extra dapper, slider glass, slipper run, and live happy ever after. Tell the second chapter about the light trapped inside the flesh and wolves running wild in the shepherd's pasture. Running from the violent flames and the hunger pangs, cleansed in the fire, baptized by the summer rain. Heads hung in shame, faces in our palms purge what no longer serves. Hatchlings turn to songbirds and try to paint a picture of a world beyond words. On terra firma, only love conquers monsters. Playing roles, plugging holes in the sinking ship. Ill-equipped to wield the power at our fingertips. Confronted by a diamondback in the wilderness that offered me the global village on a silver dish. I declined, said I won't be pushed, filed, stamped, index, brief, debriefed, or numbered bottom line. Divided by design, find peace of mind in the broken promised land where the blind lead the blind.
Tell us your date of birth. Tell us your place of birth. Tell us your marital status. Tell us your number of dependents. Tell us your social security number. Tell us your checking account number. Tell us your savings.
Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves.